Hey guys, I'm back with another video. It's me. It's Ethan. I once again didn't really plan what I'm gonna make a video about, but it's my day off, my second day off, so I gotta go back to work tomorrow. So I thought I'd make a video. It's cold. It's very cold in my apartment and outside in general right now. It's still winter. So I got my blanket on. And this is my favorite blanket, actually. It's got like astronaut cats on it. It's really stupid, but I like it. But today, I just picked a random topic. Honestly, I'm gonna make a video about why I haven't graduated college. And give me 1 second. Sorry. I always have my radio on when I'm at home for extra like background noise, but it's not great for recording videos, so I turned it down. But yeah, why have I not graduated college after starting 6.5 years ago? Yeah. The big thing for this is internships. Everything else I'm done with, and that's what makes it really frustrating to me. Is I have completed all my schoolwork, and I did that. It took an extra year, so it took 5 years to do it instead of 4. But yeah, I got all my schoolwork done. I didn't really have an issue doing that. I was a decent enough student for the amount of effort I was putting in. I'd say I was actually pretty good, but I didn't put like any effort into it, and I could have been a much better student. But it didn't matter. I got all my classes passed. In a somewhat timely manner. I did my like major courses. I was a drone major, by the way, unmanned aerial systems. And yeah, I got all my like required classes done for my major within 4 years, and then I finished up my minor in the 5th year. Because I didn't actually choose a minor until like my junior or senior year. It took a while. And I ended up just choosing one of the easier ones to complete because I didn't really want to focus on it that much. But yeah, so I came here in 2018, started taking classes, and then I got a job while taking classes, just like a part-time job at a pizza place. And I worked there for a few years. And then I don't know. I don't think the job got in the way. I focused on school enough. I never really let the job like get in the way of school. But it still took a lot of time out, so I think I did worse because I was in school and working. But I'd say there's like 3 big things that happened. Really almost year after year after year, starting in 2020. But the last thing was in 2023, I think, yeah. So, 2020 obviously happened, the COVID bullshit. Classes all went online, and that was fine. But what was not fine was I was going into like junior year, and I did not have an internship. And that's a requirement for my major. I cannot graduate without an internship. I didn't do one my freshman year. I didn't do one my sophomore year. I didn't do it in the summer. And during this time, all my classmates were doing theirs, but usually I would just work over the summer and kind of just take some time away from class because, I don't know, sorry, trying to fix the brightness. Yeah, I don't know. I would get tired of school. I would get a lot of fatigue after, especially after coming out of high school. I was actually like a really good student, like sixth grade through high school, for not great reasons, but I was a good student. I got pretty good grades. But yeah, by the time I got to college, I was just tired of being a student. Had no break from it since I had gone into school in like first grade or whatever, preschool. So on the summers, I did not want to worry about school or my degree or anything, so I didn't do it. And then the COVID stuff happened. And at first, that was looking like maybe a blessing, kind of. Because I want to say, I don't know for sure if this happened, but I feel like there was a very small window where my college was allowing people to graduate without getting an internship if that was a requirement, just because it was unrealistic that you would get one at that time. You know? So they would let you graduate just by doing your schoolwork. But that I didn't really like sign into that or research it enough, so I didn't do that. And I wasn't done with school anyways. I still had a year or two. I still had like 2 years, I think, at that point. I finished up my minor and major, so I couldn't graduate anyways. And then by the time the next year ran around, or rolled around, 2021, that was when everything was like starting to get normal again. You know, you could go outside, you would go to classes in person again, at least for the fall semester of that year. But what happened is I had like and I don't remember if I referred to this. I definitely want to make a big video about it because it's such a impactful moment on a lot of things I'm dealing with right now in my life. All comes from this one moment in 2021, where I had like a manic episode that lasted a few months and basically affected every aspect of my life at that point and still today. It was very impactful. And that started towards the end of the 2021 spring semester. I quit my job at the pizza place. I didn't replace it, just had no job. But I still had tuition money, so I didn't really need to work anyways. But then, yeah, I don't know, I just went to a really weird and dark place for like a few months. I was trying to give away all my money and basically lived outside for most of my waking hours. I did not want to be home. And yeah, that summer happened. And then, but school-wise, I was fine. I guess I still got my classes done for the spring semester and then went on to the summer. Just didn't do an internship again. But that was like in the heat of like, you're not gonna find one right now anyways. The world's kind of ended for the second. Everything was on pause still. It was starting to get back to normal. And I think I actually did apply to some internships over that summer, but I just got like rejected for whatever reason. One of them, one of them that I applied to, they were like, we're actually not really looking for internships right now. We're looking for full-time people. And I'm like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, I'll eventually become that if I'm a good worker for you in my internship. But I never got that chance. And so, yeah, I applied to a few internships there. I reached out to my professor, but no one got back to me. And then all that crazy stuff happened, so I just wasn't focused on it. I kind of gave up on it for the moment. And then towards the end of my Manic episode, and this is kind of what ended it and got me back to a normal place, I got into the relationship that I recently got out of, like 7 months ago. Which is weird that it started there, but it could have started anywhere. With that person, I think there was already a kind of connection between us. Like, it's over now, but my point is, I don't think the Manic episode thing made it happen. But it is weird that it happened right then. But anyways, that kind of got me back to, like, normal human stuff. I would go home again. There's a lot more to that. Like I said, I want to make a big video about my Manic episode in 2021. Because it was crazy. It was insane. And I don't want to do it again. Not like that. So, yeah, started 2021 fall, going back to school. Mostly normal, except I'm in a relationship now. And all that was fine. I mean, I think because I was in the relationship and I'd never been in one before, and I think for me being in a relationship, I'm very like serious about it. If it is a committed relationship, and so I'll focus more of my energy towards that than other things in my life. So I don't think it was like too negative, like I was doing too much, but I do think similarly to work, it took away from school a little bit. I didn't care as much about school at that point because I was like, I got my person, you know. I don't need this fucking degree because I'm rocking with my person. And obviously that didn't last, so yippee. But anyways, for that time, so I wasn't really like focused on getting an internship, but I was still doing my classes and passing them and doing fine in that. And got to 2022 summer, and that was more like nothing really crazy happened summer 2022 that like made it hard. It was just I was dealing with moving. I was moving in with my now ex and our roommate, her best friend. And but so I moved in with them, but we had to like quickly move after that because we were all three getting a new place. And yeah, I don't know, that was just a lot. My car also broke down that summer, so I couldn't drive anywhere anyways with it until I fixed it. Like my alternator needed changed, and I had to do that. So summer 2022, it wasn't like a crazy bad one. It was just I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life that wasn't super bad, like I said, but it was hindering enough that I couldn't do an internship. I wasn't even thinking about that at that point. It was not on my mind, I don't think. So yeah, I was just like, okay, just go on to the next year. 2022 fall. I don't remember much from this semester other than it was so like I said, in 2021 I quit the job at the pizza place, and when I was manic, and then didn't have a job for a little bit, and then I got this like kind of odd job washing airplanes at the airport that my college has. But it would have worked out, but the issue was they gave me no set schedule. It was very like you had to be a self-motivated person, and I was struggling with that job. because it just felt like what I was doing wasn't important to them. Like, it's important, but like they didn't value it, because they wouldn't schedule me. They just said literally like, come in whenever you want. You can work up to 40 hours, or you can work 5 hours a week. It doesn't matter to us. So in my head, I was like, that's great, but like, there's no direction to this. There's no schedule. It kind of feels like you don't really care if I come in or not. So eventually I just stopped coming in to that job. But I did have it. I got it summer 2021 amidst all the crazy. I got it in like June. And then I started working at the pizza place again because I had a lot of connections. I had been working there for like 3 years at this point. I had a lot of friends there, so even when I quit, I still like hung out there a lot. And then they were kind of understaffed and they would be in bad positions. So I would just like come in and help for free because I didn't want money at the time. I really didn't. Not in 2021. And yeah, so eventually I just started working there again, became a delivery driver, and worked there for like 2 months, and then finally quit and was just done with it and never went back. So, well, maybe I got my W-2 the next time around, but since then I have not been back to that pizza place. I don't eat there, I don't do anything with it. And all the people that worked there when I worked there have also quit and found something new. So it's not even the same place anymore to me. But going into September 2021, I still had that airport job. Although, like I said, it was so weird. It was like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you tell me what you would do with a job like that, where it's like literally show up whenever you want to, work 5 or 40 hours a week, whatever you want to. There's no real direction. Just wash airplanes, and we'll tell you how to wash them. But like, figure it out, make it work for you. How would you feel about having a job like that? In theory, it sounds awesome, and I thought it did it too first. But it was a lot of me just kind of wandering around, being like, "What do I do?" Like, obviously, wash all the airplanes, but half of them are flying. Half of the ones that aren't flying are being prepped to fly. I don't know. There's also a lot of working outside, and sometimes it's really hot, and sometimes it's really cold where I live. So there's a lot of weather issues with that. And I didn't have like protective like coats and stuff for the cold. For the summer, I was fine because I just sweat and whatever. That would cool me off. But yeah, it was just a really weird job, but I kept it while I quit. Finally, like fully quit the pizza job. And then I started working where my ex worked, which is this clothing/smoke shop. And I don't remember if I referred to this place either, but leading up to me quitting that job, I was getting like $20 a week from that place. Like, I was just making nothing. And I wasn't there too long. I might even be getting my like times mixed up, honestly. I don't know if that was 2022 or 2023, but anyways, I worked there for a while, was making like no money. Worked there with my ex. We were both making no money. And this is what I was saying is fall 2022, the only thing I really remember was my ex getting a new job. But it was like, it's the job she has now. And it's a better job, and at the time that she got it, it was awesome because it was much more paying. But what sucked was she quit the other job like months before and just had no job for a while. So that made it really hard for us to pay bills. Made it really hard for me, especially making like no money. But we managed somehow. I don't really know what we did. I mean, there were multiple months where we didn't pay our electric bill and stuff like that. We'd be late on rent, whatever, but we got through it eventually. And yeah, I kind of lost the plot. I know I'm talking about internships. uh, yeah, I don't know. The point is, 2022, I had to deal with moving, and then 2023 came around, and I was in a slightly better position, and kind of, like I said, my ex quit her job, didn't have a job for a few months, so that really sucked and made it hard. But it was also like fall semester going into the winter, so it wasn't really a time when I was going to find an internship anyways. And I was working at the clothing store. I think I had already quit the airport job. I worked it from like summer 2021 until like spring 2022. That's what I was getting mixed up. And when I quit it, I just stopped showing up. I don't even know if I collected a W-2 after all that. I just didn't show up anymore. And eventually they got the memo. Probably replaced me or something if they kept having that job. And yeah, then I started working at the clothing store, and I was doing just that for a little bit. But like I said, I was making so little money that I couldn't really do anything. Because with the tuition, I was just getting like enough for housing and whatever. And so I needed a job, just like a part-time job to have money for food and whatever else I want to buy. But I wasn't making a lot of money at the clothing store. So I started doing like DoorDash. Or really, it was Uber Eats and Grubhub. DoorDash never accepted me because they were always full in my region. And I ended up making more money daily, than I would make in a week from this clothing store job. So I just quit that and started doing full-time delivery food apps. But then my car broke down again, and it was the battery that just needed replaced this time. But for whatever reason, I couldn't do that right away. So it was shut down. I'm remembering this all very fuzzy. But anyways, we ended up moving again. Or no, we didn't. Never mind. Scratch that. We were just still in the place that it was like spring, the first half of 2023. I know this is super confusing and it doesn't matter to you anyways. Side note right now. But in one of my earlier videos, I said the greatest purpose of this channel probably is just to put something on and not listen to it. And just have background noise, hear someone talking about something, working through something that's on my mind. And yeah, so this is just a terribly messy video right now. I should have written down some of this stuff so it was a little more cohesive. But even then, you realize just how like loose memory could be. Like I'm remembering these things, but it's like all in a weird like dream state where it's like I'm putting things in places where they actually didn't happen on accident because I just don't specifically remember it. This all happened like 3 years ago. I'm just now getting into like 2 years ago. So sorry about that, but that's what we're working with today. Anyways. Going into spring 2023, my ex just got her new job, so that was fine. And I was still working at the clothing store, but this was like December 2022 was when I quit that place and just went full-time delivery. Started doing that. I was making okay money. It was just really brutal because like I said before, I don't know if it's a self-motivation thing where it's easier for me to be like, all right, you're scheduled 8 hours to work today, you can't leave or you'll be fired kind of thing. That makes me work. I want to make a video about working because I love working, or at least I love having something to do for a large amount of my time, seeing as how I don't really have much going on. And I do love doing good work. But something in me sometimes can have like motivation issues if it's like a self-reliant thing where I'll just do the bare minimum. And that was kind of my issue with food delivery apps. I couldn't think of the word for it, sorry. I would just make the bare minimum amount that I needed to make for that day. So I had like dinner and whatever figured out. And then stop. Because I was like, I don't need to be delivering right now, so why am I? But so I never got ahead with it. And yeah, I wasn't building money. I was just making like as close to check of as I've ever felt was doing that work. Because it was like I would wake up behind $50 and I'd be like, I gotta make $50 to be okay today. So yeah, still in a pretty shitty financial position where getting an internship isn't the best. But my ex just got, at this point, my ex had just gotten a much better job. So things were looking up. And then our roommate, she got fired from her job, and I don't even remember what happened. Or I think that's what happened, but I don't remember how it happened and why. But anyways, that hurt us once again. We were in the same hole. But I was still determined for whatever. I think it was just because I was finishing spring 2023. I was finishing up my classes, so this was a good time for me to be like, okay, I'll try to get an internship again. And I asked because before this, when I was going for internships, I was looking specifically for drone and aviation related ones. And that I just wasn't having a lot of luck with that. So I asked my academic advisors if it had to be drone related. And they were like, any professional internship, as long as you can relate it to your major in some way and what you gained from it, will work for your graduation. So I was like, okay, I can do basically any internship as long as it is an internship for something. And I was just doing like delivery work, so I was very free to get a new job or internship. And I wasn't making a lot of money from that anyways, so if I got a paid internship, I probably would have been making more money. So I started looking for some, and then this also was a big impact on this. My car broke down again. I think I said that a few minutes ago. But anyways, it was like battery issues, and I couldn't fix it for a while. And I lived across the street from a Meijer grocery store, and a Menards, whatever that store is, hardware store, I guess, or something. And the Meijer is relevant in a minute, but the Menards first, they did an internship, and it was a management one. And my minor was based around management. So I was like, I could swing that and I could probably get that. I interviewed there. And also, another side note, me and my ex, we both worked like night shift. We're more like night shift people. So we'd always had night shift jobs, like afternoon to midnight kind of thing. So I was looking for this internship for Menards, and I started doing the interviews. I had to do like 3 rounds of interviews, and it went really well. And I got it. I got the internship. And then they gave me the schedule and had me coming in at like 6 in the morning until whenever. What is that, like 2:30, I guess, if it's an 8-hour shift? And that was just completely opposite of what my schedule had been, what my ex's schedule was, what our schedule was together. It just didn't work with that. And so already going into it, I wasn't happy about that schedule for my own personal reasons, because I was like, this is just going to make my life so much harder, being in a relationship and everything that's going on right now. It's just going to make it a lot harder. So I was already like, I don't really want to take this, but I will because I want to graduate, and it's just 6 months. But then I told my ex about it, and she blew up about the situation. Had an extremely negative reaction to it. and essentially said, like, or at least what the way it came off to me, I don't remember exactly what she said about it. I just remember having a really big fight for something that I didn't even want, so I wasn't even really fighting for it, you know, because I wouldn't want that situation either. But it was just a really big thing, really big explosion of energy. And what came across to me was basically, we will not stay together if I take this internship. And that's kind of what she said, you know. But by the end of that relationship, there were a lot of like ultimatum kind of things like that that I should have just been like, oh, this is not good for me, I gotta leave. But I didn't. It was my first relationship. But this was the first one that was really, really like that and really bad. And I knew it. But I was still very attached to this person, this relationship, and and I always want to fight for something like that. I never want to give up. So I gave up on the internship. I was like, oh, yeah, I just won't do it. But the only caveat with that for me, after this like big fight I had with my ex, I was like, I have no problem not taking this internship. It's fine. I don't want to take it. I didn't want to work first shift anyways for any amount of time. So I won't take it. But here's my deal with it. Because at this point, I had been trying it. This is after 5 years of doing college, finishing up my classes, and kind of trying to get an internship. Not trying like super, super hard, but trying hard enough to be tired of it. And I was. Especially with all the financial bullshit I was dealing with outside of that had nothing to do with college. I was just tired of it. I was tired of searching for that. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take the internship. That's fine. I'd rather prioritize this relationship anyways. It's more important to me. Which was a really stupid thing to say, but it was. It was more important to me. And my only thing with not taking this internship is like, as I was like, okay, then I'm giving up on graduating. I was like, I'm not going to try to find an internship after this if you don't want me to take this one. Because most internships that I had seen, it's going to be something like that. I'm either going to have to move kind of farther away, I'm going to have to travel for it a lot, but probably it's going to be more first shift oriented. Because that's, from what I've found in my experience, most internships are going to be first shift. It's not a second shift thing. You're not going to find that kind of life for internships. I mean, they're probably out there, but I wasn't finding them, and I didn't want to look anymore. With all of the rigid things I needed this internship to be to work out for my life at that time, it was not going to work. I was not going to find anything. So I was like, yeah, I'm giving up. And I don't remember what her reaction was to that. It was milder than taking the internship, I'll say that. So yeah, I just finished my schoolwork and got like completely done with all my schoolwork, just need the internship, finished that spring semester, and that was it. And then the issues I had with not taking that internship, the Menards one, came back when I broke up with my ex. Because I was like, I really wish I didn't do that. We broke up like a year after that decision. Like a year and 3 months. And yeah, that was my first thought, was like, I wish I took the internship, because I'd have a degree right now and I'd be set up for a lot better situation to do something with my life than I am, because I prioritized a relationship with someone who ultimately gave up on me and betrayed me. And it's fine, but yeah, so that was my thoughts coming out of the breakup. So within the past 7 months, I've only applied to one internship. I just found one. It's drone related, so it is within my major. And I applied to it in October, and they have not gotten back to me. I haven't reached out more, so that's kind of my fault. But it's also unrealistic right now because I have a full-time job. I can't. It's not gonna work with that. I would have to quit my job or go on leave for a while. And hold on, I'll be right back. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not gonna cut out that break, but hopefully it wasn't too long. I don't think it was. It's like 2 minutes maybe. I don't know if you noticed I was talking kind of hurried, but I I really had to pee. I've been drinking coffee like this whole video, and I had I had a cup before. So I really had to pee, and I was trying to just get to the end of the video, but I don't know what that was gonna look like. I'd just be like, all right, I'm done. I gotta go to the bathroom, and that's it. But yeah, so I just had to jump up and do that. I'm sorry. This video is gonna be the longest one I've uploaded so far. I don't know what to say about that. It's not a good video. I'm just kind of talking. But anyways, yeah, where was I? 2023. My car broke down. Lived across the street from a Meijer and a Menards. Went to take the Menards internship. Got it. Got my schedule. And then the schedule didn't work out for the relationship I was in, so I gave up on it. And the only reason I'm going back to this is because then I needed a job. I couldn't deliver anymore because my car was broke down. So I started working at that Meijer in the deli for a year. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. But I'll say this, though. This is a positive from it. Okay. When I first got hired, it was really nice. Just that first few weeks. To work full-time and not worry about school for once. It was the first time I was like, I'm not worrying about school at all. Besides like summer breaks, but I would always have to go back to school after that. But this was the first time where I was like, I'm just not worrying about it. It's not my life anymore. This is my life. It's just working and making money and coming home to my partner. And it was nice for a little bit. But yeah, I worked there for a year. Then I got the job I have now about a year ago, February 2024. And then broke up with my ex. And then all that stuff resurfaced about my internship and wishing I had graduated. And I don't think I like said anything to my ex about that as I was leaving. But it was definitely on my mind of like, I wish I graduated now, looking back on it. So I started looking for internships again, and I found one that would be really nice. It's like a 20-minute drive from where I live. And I applied and just never got anything back. And what I was saying before is like, I would love to do an internship. I don't know what the solution is for me, if there's like an online one I could do. Because I would really love to graduate. Not even to use my degree, because I don't know if that's realistic anymore. I don't have a drone. I have hardly any experience using them in a professional setting besides my like coursework, which has now been almost like 3 years ago. But it would just be nice to close that chapter of my life fully and be like, hey, it wasn't just some continuous thing that never ended. Like when you look at my course plan thing for my schoolwork, it says I am like 98% done. Who gets to 98%? If you're running a race, a marathon, doing anything, and you did 98% of it, and then just stopped, I don't know. It wouldn't feel good, I'll tell you that. And now imagine if you were doing this race for 5 years and got to 98% and stopped because of your situation. financially, your relationship, and then also the state of the world, COVID, and just the general state of the world in terms of getting a job right now. It's just so like, it's a nightmare to even get a regular job, let alone an internship, let alone a professional job with your degree. It took me 3 months to get the entry-level minimum wage job I have right now. Crazy. And it's not even worth it. It's not, none of these jobs I've ever had have been worth it. But I had to try to get them, and I had to prove my worth to these companies. Crazy. They should have been asking me, they should have been coming to my door, begging that someone like me would work for them. But they don't do that. They just put up their job opening and you hope to get an interview so you can prove your worth to someone that doesn't even know. I don't know. It's just such a nightmare situation, really. But yeah, I applied to another internship within the last year or the last 6 months. I haven't heard anything back from it. And even if I did get it, I don't know how I would be able to do it because I have no money saved up. I'm working on that right now, but that's like, it's gonna take a year. And at the end of 2025, I'm hoping to have like $5,000 saved up. Like, that's my max. And that's not going to save me or give me enough money to do an internship. Not really. So I don't know what the solution is, but I would really love to graduate. I wish they would just let me have the degree or like a lesser version of it at this point, just so I could be done. But yeah, I mean, even going into the saving stuff, which I also want to make a video more in depth about this. I mean, one, I want to get a new job that pays more, so that's already going to make it harder if I get a new job like that. But then I want to get a second job on top of that to make even more money, so I can really start saving. But if I do that, then there's no way I'm going to be able to do an internship with that. So I don't know, it's so hard. And I wouldn't have thought it would be this hard. There's like so many different jobs out there, so many different people, so many different needs. And you're telling me I couldn't find one thing that worked for me to get this all to finish? But I guess not. So, in a very long, confusing, scenic way of explaining things, that's why I have not graduated college, even though I've passed all my classes. And yeah, it wasn't a cohesive way of saying it either, but that's it. And I really wish I did. And another thing I want to say that hurts, this reality hurts me because, like with my ex and what she said about that internship and why it didn't work out, because if she had supported me, I would have taken it and I would have graduated. And the reason this hurts is because we were both in college. We were both the same year. Like we both started college in 2018. And we got together in our like junior year. And I'm not gonna say I'm the reason why. I don't think I am why she graduated, but I helped and I supported in any way I could. Anything about her graduating or being successful in life, I was absolutely supportive. I wouldn't have given her advice to give up, and I wouldn't have pushed her towards that. So I worked hard with her to make sure she graduated. And when I needed that support, I did not get it. So it sucks looking back on that, but it is what it is. And yeah, it sucks that I find myself in this position. But you take what you get and you keep going, you keep chugging. So, yeah, that in 46 minutes, that's why I haven't graduated college. I still hope to one day. But I really don't think it's going to happen. And I'm trying just not to think about it. Just trying to be a human in this world, because it doesn't matter anyways. And although I regret not graduating college, I almost regret going to college more than not graduating. If I knew what I know now, and I could go back and talk to like 17 or 18-year-old me, I would probably say don't go to college and just get a minimum wage job and start saving up money and build from there. Try to get a better job. When you feel like you don't make enough money, try to get a better paying job. Just keep doing that, keep saving money, keep going towards whatever your goals are. Because that's what I'm doing now after 5 years of not graduating college. And the only difference is I have this large debt hanging over my head now. That's screwing up my credit and taking away a large portion of my money every month that I could be saving, that I could be spending on something that I need, like food, or something for my cats, or something for my car. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna end the video here, though, or around here. But I guess to keep the conversation going, and I mean, this might be 50 years from now before 10 people watch this video, you know? But whether you're the first 10, the last 10, the only 10, the only one, did you go to college? Did you just start working? What's your life like? What, you know? If you went to college for 5 years and the only thing you needed to graduate was an internship, but you couldn't get an internship, at least right in that moment, because of the way your life was going and how much time work was taking from you, would you give up completely? Or would you keep trying? Would you keep it in the back of your head and be like, no, one day I am going to graduate? Would you even go to college? Do you think college is a viable option in 2025? Let me know in the comments. Is college, is trade school, or is just getting a job and surviving a viable option in 2025? Yeah, let me know. But anyways, I hope you're doing well, and peace out.